See 'em? Well, open your damn eyes in. It's the old-timey country down-home red state update podcast and them. Coming to you from a bunker underneath Jackie's Market in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And here they are, both of them.
Hey, welcome to Red State Update. My name's Jackie Bros.
Folks, people, it's Dunlap. Thank you for coming, stopping by, picking us up on your way. We really do appreciate each and every one of you listening. I mean, I could spend hours just telling you how much I love you. I think it's the way things are these days. We need to tell each other, Jackie, that we love each other.
Well, just,
Not you and me.
No,
other people.
I care about you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think I ain't gonna tell people I don't know I love them.
No, that's the only people I can tell I love them. Like I can sit here and say, I love each and every one of you. And y'all hear that and go, oh man, what a carrot. I just can't do it to people I know.
On here, it's easy as can be. Yeah, I love all of you. I love it. But like if I say someone in the face, it's hard for me to look someone directly in the eye and say anything.
I don't know how to.
With the COVID, I don't go nowhere anyhow. I probably should. You're probably right. I should be saying more often, love you. Love all of you.
But luck we should be. But as luck would have it, it's dangerous to get out and look people in the face. So we can't. The only way we can express our love for people is this way. We love each and every one of you. We're so grateful that you chose to come back here with us in these dire, crisis-filled times, Jackie. Jackie, let me tell you, let's start off with something. Usually you start off current events podcast with something. If it's about an animal at the zoo, you'd be like, oh, they're going to start with the lighthearted. 13 gorillas at Zoo Atlanta test positive for COVID.
How many gorillas they got in the zoo in Atlanta?
I don't know. I mean, 13 of them have COVID. They could have hundreds for all I know.
It's terrible either way. I wasn't trying to make light of the situation. I'm just saying that could be real bad, which it is, or it could be much worse. Like you said, if they have 100, I don't know how you allowed to have 100 gorillas. If you have a gorilla zoo, yes. Is it a whole zoo or just a gorilla zoo?
I've never been to Zoo Atlanta, so I'm not sure. It could just be gorillas. It seems like they'd be leaving money on the table, unless it's easier to get gorillas than it is other animals. Because I'd go to the zoo and be like, well, where's the zebra? Like, no, only gorillas. Like, well, why is that? Well, you just order them off Amazon.
Why?
That's why that'd be a reason for me to only have a gorilla zoo. But I'm lazy. It says here they caught it from a zookeeper, asymptomatic zookeeper. So they didn't know. That wasn't one zookeeper said, well, we only got 87 employees here, so I ain't getting nothing shot in me. As far as we know, it could be a Trumpy zookeeper for all I know. Do you think zookeepers are more Trumpier than other occupations?
Hell, I don't know. There's every kind of occupation a Trump is in. Is there one name an occupation other than scientist or NASA or something, that ain't, name a job where there's nobody there that works that don't think the election was stolen. Is there such a one other than what I said?
People say, you see all these articles about the Great Resigning, the Great Quitting, the Great Resignation tour, whatever they call it, where everybody's quitting their job or they ain't coming back. And it's either white collar workers going, I ain't going to drive 2 hours. I got a computer here. Or it's what we used to call, what did we call people who worked at stores at the beginning of the pandemic? It's been so long now, and I can't quite recall.
Essential workers. Yeah.
Or it's essential workers, so people who work in restaurants and grocery stores who are like, fuck this. People get mad. I'm out here risking my life. People get mad if I say I want $15 an hour. I ain't going back to fucking Kroger.
Watch your mouth. You can say it without all that.
Can you? You never worked at Kroger.
Well,
another reason might be they got to go to work with somebody going, yeah, I just don't think that all these people storming the Capitol should be in jail. Why can't we release them on their own recognizance? People showing you QAnon on their phones. Maybe you just don't want to go back to that.
I don't blame you. I don't know how.
Well, who say, oh, yeah, people get spoiled on that unemployment, which is what people on unemployment are, is spoiled. That's what they just laying around getting spoiled, all those people on unemployment.
Spoil rotten, yeah.
Spoil rotten. Kids on the damn free lunch at school, just spoiled. We don't believe that anymore.
No. Had everything given to them, yeah. Well, I tell you what, if it's unemployment, it ain't a whole lot. I don't think unemployment is enough to spoil everybody. It ain't.
Now you can't even be a zookeeper because now the gorillas got COVID. Because Jeff wouldn't wear a mask. I don't know if that's true. Jeff could have worn a mask.
Hey, we don't know about Jeff.
No.
We don't know if that's his name.
I don't know if Jeff the zookeeper even exists. But let's say Jeff the zookeeper wanted to wear a mask around the gorillas. I mean, it doesn't say if he was vaccinated or not. He was asymptomatic. It could have been a breakthrough case for all I know, Jeff.
Yeah, he could have been vaccinated. He could think he's just fine. Who knows now?
Or he could have been, I don't know, out partying. Not before. Next day, show up. And maybe you can't wear a mask around gorillas because maybe they rip the mask off your face. Same reason you can't wear a mask to Walmart in Lewisburg. Same exact risks. Probably easier to get a gorilla to wear a mask.
And I tell you what, you take a bunch of masks and throw it in there, a gorilla cage, where there's 113 of them. Some of them going to put a mask, they're just going to pick it up, put it on. No matter. Yeah.
Which way you film that and then put that up on YouTube or whatever. And if they put the mask on, you can look so easy a gorilla can do it. And if they don't put it on, you can be like, are you as dumb as this fucking gorilla? Like either way, you got a commercial. Put it up there. Make people mad. That's what we do now.
Well, let's not pick on these COVID gorillas.
Best of luck to the gorillas. We can't just.
Are they okay? I know some people just get sick. You don't have to go to the hospital. Whatnot. I hope that's the case with the gorillas. It's too bad they got it period, but I hope all the gorillas are all right. In the zoo,
everywhere.
Regular zoo or gorilla zoo.
All zoos across every gorilla out in where do gorillas live? The jungle, on the plain? They live with lions or tigers? I don't know.
They live in the jungle.
That's what you have been conditioned to believe.
No, I watch the nature shows. I watch that Planet Earths and the whole thing. I know where they live.
Would you trade places with the gorilla right now?
I just, all the bugs I couldn't handle just crawling all over you all the time.
Well, you work together to pick them off each other and eat them.
I know I don't.
Gorillas live in equatorial Africa.
It's hot and there are bugs everywhere in the jungle. That's all jungles. I ain't picking on that one. That's what it is. That's not made for people like myself.
Well, good luck to all the gorillas and all the zookeepers, all the vaccinated zookeepers. Jackie, I don't know when Biden gets done mandating this vaccine.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he can turn to animals.
Oh, if he starts, he ain't going to fit. You watch. Every cat.
You ain't going to tell my cat what to do. Coming door to door. My patience wearing thin. These cats running everywhere.
Everybody saying Biden Gestapo in your house, sticky syringes in your fish tank.
Cat Stopo, coronavirus.
You go fish ain't nothing. Yeah. Don't get it. It's the end of democracy. I tell you what, I never felt more like a country was about to end. And actually, I'm saying that for different reasons, but if you were to turn on the TV today, I don't think this is a winning platform for Republicans. Now, I said the same thing about Trump, so forgive me here for speaking my mind if it's a bunch of bull. What the hell do I know? But we was on here talking, the last time we was on here talking, we were talking about Napoleon and all this stuff. A lot of Republicans are vaccinated. I mean, there's plenty of Republicans who are just as fed up with this 26% of people that is going to keep this stuff going and going until, they'll have to get vaccinated. But so I don't now, since Biden said that, if you're a Republican, you have to come out again. I hadn't heard nothing from Mitch McConnell yet. Of course, he's a polio survivor himself. He wouldn't be here without vaccine. So you take that how you want. I don't, work that out in your head. But anyhow, I ain't heard him say nothing yet. But yeah, McCarthy, all of them, everyone that, you're going to run on that. You basically going to run on people getting sick and dying. What are you going to bring a community? Well, I tell you what, I ain't going to bring squat to it, but I am going to make sure all y'all can get as sick as you want and as many of you can die as you'd like. I don't know if that's, I certain areas of the country, sure, that's going to be the winning ticket. But heading into the midterms, I don't know. Of course, you got other people speculating. They going to say against this or whatever because they don't want the economy. They want everything to be terrible for midterms and next presidential election. So they don't want things to get better. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't say that. That's just the thing. I've heard that speculated.
Well, people said that Democrats wanted the economy to tank so that Trump would lose.
Yeah.
But the difference is that it seems as if Democrats want people to live. Republicans, it's a badge of honor if you get sick and die. Because we're like, well, when it gets to the kids, they're going to start. No, they don't care. They don't care. I mean, I don't know. We're like, was that the winning ticket? Probably. I mean, it is for a bunch of people. They're like, well, yeah, I do want to be able to get sick and die if I want to. Thank you. People talk about 9/11. It's 9/11. Not the 9/11. It's, 20 years later. But technically, it's 9/11.
Anniversary, yeah.
And I think a lot of kids are like, what? Y'all got fucked up. This fucked y'all up. It did.
All right, you did. But yeah,
a kid ain't going to understand that because a kid has got used to living with a bunch of tragedy. Fucked up shit happening all the time. And people scoring political points off of it. So why would 3,000 people be a big? I think they look back and say 3,000 people. Yeah, okay. So what? And then what'd y'all do that night? Go out and get dinner or what? When did people start saying that it wasn't really 3,000 people, that it was a conspiracy and it was fake? I mean, it was, It probably was later that day, actually. I was trying to make a point, but now that I think about it, people probably were saying, it's all
They
bullshit.
did if they
bullshit.
If everybody had the phone that they had now and the computer is like it is now, yeah, it people would have said that it was fake as soon as it happened.
But maybe they couldn't have said it was fake because we didn't go through the 9/11 truther stuff to get to. I mean, we had Kennedy. We've had plenty of conspiracy theories, but that taught us how to use conspiracy theories, YouTube, Michael Moore. A lot of stuff went to come out of 9/11 that set the stage for how fucked up we are now. So yes, a kid ain't going to understand how fucked up, how bad it did fuck us up.
All right, with the mouth hole. Say it
I mean,
way.
like these kids go to school every day thinking they could get shot in the school. And they don't just think that. I mean, it's like lots of kids like before Columbine be like, something shitty could happen today. But like since the teachers tell them they could get shot. Like if I'd been like, hey, are we going to get shot today? I'd be, no, sit down. But now they're like, yes. And that reminds me, we need to do a drill. You go out with Fox News in your house, they're telling you it's patriotic to sacrifice grandma, so y'all need to get down to Chili's tonight. So why would they think that 9/11 was something weird? Oh, no. Oh, it was an excuse to get mad at Muslims. Okay, I got it now. Now it makes sense. Like there's no people on TV with candles say, well, being somber and stuff like we didn't. Are we honoring anybody that died by letting thousands and more people die constantly? I mean, it is a wonder. It is a wonder that we still treat 9/11 with not everybody, but a lot of people treat it with kid gloves. Republicans treat it with kid gloves. It makes sense because they can blame it on Muslims, but still, 3,000 deaths, if they do the math, how many have we lost to COVID now?
Over 500,000. Some people say more than 1 million.
I guess that makes sense. Republicans want to be doing the killing. They're the NRA. NRA guns in control. We're not getting a vaccine. We're infected. We could infect you, but I won't be. But 9/11, somebody else did it. So I guess it kind of tracks.
Old man Biden getting up there being old granddaddy saying, all right, I had enough of this mess, Time to get you, which you and I have been saying this forever. We know this is what's going to happen, where it's going to be president, where it's going to be the job, where it's going to be whatever it is, where everybody going to have to you're going to get vaccinated. You ain't going to be able to leave the house. He's saying, the people saying he's mandating. He ain't mandating. Quit. That's what they're telling us. Some man get on his telephone and say something that's crazy, like all of the entire U.S. Army, Navy, and the Air Force, everybody quit today because they mandated these vaccines. They put it on the Twitter, without all of it. 8 million people see it. I don't care who comes out and says it ain't real, which of course it ain't. It's too late. It don't matter. It ain't. Of course he's saying it ain't real. Of course they're lying about it. Of course, but the guy whose name I don't know, some woman who I don't have a clue, put it up. I believe this man here. He's telling the truth.
I've seen them movies, and them soldiers get shots right at the beginning of it. They go into basic training.
They cut your hair off. Let me tell you something. You get your hair cut. I didn't mind that. No, your arm gonna be sore. You get a bunch of shots.
I seen Biloxi Blues. He's like, ouch. Remember? You get Beetle Bailey, every single one of them. Beetle Bailey they don't even give him a helmet that fits his head. He can't even see out of that motherfucker.
All right.
What are we talking about? So,
well, Biden, you were talking about, I was going to say Biden, being and acting shocked, which he should be, but I don't believe it. He's doing a good act. I'm shocked at the governor, the cavalier attitude that they have over their children. What do you mean? Newtown, look, nobody care about children in this country.
No, that's done.
Why would you even bring up children? Of course, now that's what's happening. Everybody was saying, "Well, it's just old people dying of COVID. You know, this ain't going to affect people. It's just older people." And bless their hearts, I wish they weren't dying, but it's just old people. Now it's children, literally children, and on respirators, everything else. It ain't going to make a difference. Like somebody in this country give a damn about children.
Like he can't say, "Yeah, we're gonna make it where your job makes you have to get vaccinated," but DeSantis can say, "No, we're gonna make it where you cannot wear mask." Well, you can wear. They all got a fucking loophole, but they're all playing with this shit. So technically, in Florida, right, you can, as a kid, wear a mask, but you cannot make the kids wear a mask. That's what DeSantis is saying, but that makes the kids not want to wear masks. That makes everybody. Why are you going so hard on the thing that makes people not want to wear masks? Why are you putting it in people's heads?
You've politicized it now. So if you wear a mask, and this is here, the thing again, Murfreesboro, I'm so proud to be from here, made the national news. A young boy worried about wearing a mask, talking at the school board, whatever, council meet, whatever it is, and brought up his grandmother dying. And they start grown adults laughing, catcalling, all this. And good on that young man for standing up there and ignoring it, going on TV afterward and saying, "You just gave me a bigger platform." I did. But that's what that's how adults are treating a child who wants to protect himself and his family by wearing a mask. What do you think the kids in Tennessee are doing to other kids going to school wearing masks, or Florida, or wherever else, Texas? How popular do you think those kids are going to be just for trying to not get the family sick or themselves sick? Everybody, it used to be your family and your grandma, now it's you.
You should not make fun of nobody's grandmother dying of COVID unless they were a conservative radio host.
Yeah.
If your grandma is a conservative radio host who dies of COVID, we're probably going to make fun of her. Sorry, people on Twitter will get mad at you, but
I had no idea. And I know there's a bunch of conservative radio and stuff like that. I didn't know there's that many of them. Like every day they're saying, and another one died. I didn't know who was he. I never listened to him, but they're all dead. And half of them are dead. But I'm just serious by the numbers. They're saying that another conservative radio host said not to take no vaccine. Dead of COVID. How many is there? There's a lot of openings for, new radio hosts to jump in there and tell other people not to get vaccinated. I guess there's a bunch of people auditioning.
How much money they make?
I don't know.
I mean, somebody who's like in a local market, not syndicated, spends their afternoon, drive time, yelling at people for getting vaccinated. Do they have health insurance? I hope they do. I'm just wondering, Jackie, if maybe now that we're vaccinated, we could be more like the Fox host. We could say it's stupid to get vaccinated, and we're vaccinated.
Oh yeah, well that's what it is. What do you mean? The local radio, they've been fooled by Fox. They're just trying to get the crumbs from Fox. Everybody on Fox News vaccinated. They ain't allowed in the building unless they are. So even the dumb, they were playing the part too well. Your little local, he was like, "I'm going to be just like Tucker Carlson." Tucker Carlson vaccinated, you dumb. I have to keep my language.
What if you wanted to be like Tucker Carlson? There's a lot of people in America every night kiss the poster of Tucker Carlson and say, "Someday I'll be just like you." They got hanging up over their bed. Like, yeah, I'm going to be the next better Tucker Carlson. is there that much money in this? Listen, it wouldn't take me very much for me to go back to the dark side. How much money? I mean, it's all late capitalism anyway, right? So I might as well. We're all victims of this system. So if I was making a lot of money with good benefits, maybe a company car, telling people not to get vaccinated, I mean, is that any worse than working for Exxon? It is. I mean, I know it is. I'm just trying to pump myself up for when these job offers come in. Like Dunlap in the afternoons, playing Pretenders or whatever. Music bed coming up. I was watching people walk into the store with masks on, and I said, shame on you. That's how you do it. Yeah. I could do this.
Well, nowadays, you just did that to get, on a local, little ditchy local radio station. But now you get elected to office for that.
That's true.
Why work for a little? You won't make some real money. Take it up a notch. You ain't got to change the script at all.
Man, I tell you what, we changed our outlook at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Or at the right time. I mean, really, for morality's sake and everything. But I'm just saying, if somebody showed up with a couple of bags of money and was like, hey, will you talk for a couple of hours, not counting commercials, about how Trump was right to commend Robert E. Lee? It's a racist stuff that would be tough. That would be tough. But I mean, how much money are we talking?
I've lost. I always say it's beyond empathy. It's the way it affects your mind and stuff. The way you think about when you woke or whatever you want to call it, that hurts your soul too much. You can't do that anymore. But as far as morality, me going out there telling people who ain't going to get vaccinated anyway get to die, I've lost my empathy concerning that. I don't have that no more. But the race part, I'm like you. That I can't.
So Trump, but I said, what's Trump? I know folks don't want to hear. I mean, talk about insulting 9/11 victims, but let's talk about Trump for a minute. So he put out a press release, I guess, because he can't get on Twitter anymore. Is it okay? Which is worse? I don't know. It doesn't matter. They're both worse. But let's just say Trump tweet storm about how great Robert E. Lee is, or Trump putting out a press release. I guess he's just got people who work for him that he forgets to pay, who does this whole, he just talks out loud and then they have to type it up and send it out on letterhead somehow. So maybe, I don't know if one is worse than the other. Is he just here? Did somebody advise him to do that? Or did he hear people talking about taking a statue, Robert E. Lee down? Like, I can't let this moment go by without saying something.
It seemed like I'm going to say Twitter's worse because, in this way, you got to find a letterhead. You got to go through you can only do it so many times. Whereas if he's on Twitter, he would have been, like you said, he'd have been going on for all day. There've been 28 things that going on about Robert E. Lee statue.
So he's spending the day today. He went to New York, hanging out with cops in New York.
On 9/11, good.
New York City cops.
Yeah, that's what you spoke. Yeah, that's one thing you did. Yeah.
And then
I hope when January 6th runs around, I hope he visits with some of those families, the police officers. That might be something for him to think about. I'm just saying, on the anniversary of the 9/11 report, we'll never forget. January 6th come around next time, maybe behoove him to visit some families that lost some family members.
Did we find out
police officer? Yeah.
Where Giuliani is?
Seemed like today? He should have been somewhere today. I don't know where he is. He's drunk wherever it is. I know that much.
That's true.
And not because of 9/11. I wasn't saying he's depressed.
I thought, well, either way, even if it is, whatever works. Have one more to 9/11, everybody. But not in that way. So Trump tonight is spending 9/11 Eve. No, it's not 9/11 night. Not 9/11 Eve was last night. 9/11 night is he's out there announcing a fight between Evander Holyfield. Who is it? Evander Holyfield?
I don't know. How old is he? He's 60 something years old or something.
Know.
And then it's one of them UFC things. I can't watch those. Those too bloody. They did beat the hell out of him.
Yeah, that's so.
One of them guys. Yeah.
Why would you even want? I mean, I guess it's just for the spectacle. I mean, it's not like, okay, but let's say you really needed somebody to announce your fight. You wouldn't get Trump. You have Trump. He's going to ruin everything. He's going to ruin.
He's going to make a bunch of people pay $50 damn for it, because otherwise nobody'd be watching it. Nobody give a damn. Maybe a few people, but not like now. So he either got part of the deal, or they paid him up front or something like that, knowing if he going to do it, it's pay-per-view. A lot of Trump, you don't get to see him on Twitter all day or on TV. Every now and then he'll be on Fox Newsmax, but a whole night. I think Don Jr. there is like a team. It's like both of them together, him and Don Jr. commenting on the fight. I'm going to tell you right now what the fight's going to be. Oh, good move by Evander Holyfield. Look at how bad he looks good. I tell you what, this election was stolen. We know who shot her. Now we got to do something about it. Oh, look. Uppercut, whatever it is. I don't know.
Evander Holyfield is 58 years old.
58, yeah. I mean, it's not a real fight thing. It ain't a real, yeah.
Yeah, okay, if there's a way to ruin a Holyfield MMA fight, Trump will figure out a way to do it. What else did we miss? We've been gone a little bit, folks. It's been a couple of weeks since we did one of these. I don't want to be like stand up here. What else is going on? What else? Like we have a little notebook on stuff. But Texas abortion. That was a big one.
Everybody's always trying to do Republican anyway, abortion. I get it, but like this whole thing, you call up and turning everybody against each other, and I mean
that's the thing. I think we think that the Republicans are going to destroy this country with some diabolical plan. They have lots of diabolical plans, but they fuck it all up. But I think we keep imagining one where, because they keep doing this stupid ass shit. That ain't gonna work. I mean, Justice Department's gonna sue them. Seems like it's gonna turn voters against them. Sure, they've got voter suppression. They just passed that law too.
Well, that's what the concern about. Yeah, all the voting stuff. You say, how are they going to do good? How are they going to run? That's how they're going to do good if nothing gets done on that.
Yeah.
Supposedly Joe Manchin's helping figure out, of course, his when he gets done with it, is it going to be that much different?
Trump doing everything, and like all they have to do, everything looks idiotic, and like they fucked it all up. Like they can't even do. They're so dumb. They don't even know how to do their fascism right. But they just have little pieces here and there. It's chaos. There's no truth anymore. Everybody's turned against each other. Super partisan, 50-50. And then they're rigging the game with the damn suppression and the laws and the redistricting. And then they've stacked the courts. And then they've got the Supreme Court. And all this happened. And they fucked a lot of shit up here and there. And they look like idiots most of the time. But goddamn, it's kind of scary. There wasn't one big evil master plan that like Mitch McConnell started monologuing about in 5 minutes till the movie's over. And then at the last possible minute, Nancy Pelosi gets out of her ropes and pulls a switch and stops the doomsday machine. They just do they got a bunch of idiots working for them who figured out they're just throwing a bunch of dumb ideas at the wall and a lot of them sticking. We don't know how to fight like a bunch of little idiots. Like nobody's great. Nobody's a genius. They're just a bunch of little idiots. They're all over the place. School board, Supreme Court. You can't fight this many idiots.
It's kind of like fighting COVID itself. It's everywhere. It ain't no vaccine. COVID's little everywhere. These idiots are popping up everywhere. Out there, 30-something states are trying to change the vote. No. Ain't no vaccine, as far as I know, for the little idiots.
Kevin McCarthy, you idiot. That idiot. I don't get my phone records. I'll teach you a lesson. Not that there's anything on them. You're like, what an idiot. They're going to win. Little idiots everywhere. It's awful, barely competent, charismaless. We see these people, that guy ain't never going to amount to nothing. He's going to amount to something. All they have to do is just like one little half-assed idiot thing, and it all adds up. I mean, there was no grand sweeping plan to like turn us into a bunch of anti-vaxxing, anti-masking, COVID-loving, death-kissing idiots. But it happened.
That turned out.
You just look back on it, you're like, oh, yeah, that idiot thing, that son of a bitch, I didn't think he had it in him, but yeah, he did that thing. Oh, yeah, that happened.
I guess let's just run with it.
Idiots. To me, my idiots. Let's go. I mean, Joe Rogan.
Who? I hope all y'all still with us. Appreciate you. If you had to go, I understand. If you had to turn it off.
They ain't going to be here if they left.
Huh?
If they left, they ain't going to be here.
Who left?
You just said if you had to leave, I understand. But who are you talking to? They're gone.
But we told them, everybody, we loved them so much.
Jackie, do you think people stick around forever after you tell them you love them?
Well, that's true, yeah.
Who hurt you, Jackie?
What do you mean, who hurt me?
I want to thank everybody who's still here with us, not the people who left. If you for listening
alive at this time when we're talking, we just thank you for being alive. Hopefully, you're vaccinated and take care of your family and your loved ones. So, thank you for being alive.
It's been a couple weeks. We're both still alive, and we hope most of y'all are too. We did put up a bunch of best of episodes. If you missed our best of, Jackie, let me just recap for people. It may be a little confusing, but maybe people are like, I don't know what all this is. Number 452 was the best of Skunk Sickles. That's our sponsors, where we cut all the sponsors together. We put that out. We were gone for a couple weeks, and we wanted to give you something to listen to. Sometimes when you put all our sponsors, because we've had so many great sponsors on this show, Jackie, local sponsors from right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Yeah. And I think it's almost like we're doing commercials for the city, for the town of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, here in the middle of beautiful center of the geographic center of Tennessee, rolling green hills of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Sure, sometimes we yell at high school students about their dead grandmothers, but hey, nobody's perfect.
Right now, we're number one COVID spread, whole country. As a matter of fact, yeah, well, not Murfreesboro, but the state of Tennessee. The whole state is what I was saying. if Tennessee was its own country, it would be number 2 in the whole world, fastest spreading COVID.
But it ain't, Jackie. But it's got that good country music.
Indeed, it does, and you know, there's a lot of great things about it. I love everything about the South except the COVID and Bill Lee.
Number 453 was Best of Mrs. Chickens Part 1. So part of the problem is sometimes the sponsors bleed into each other. So you do Best of Mrs. Chickens, but sometimes you were doing the Birds of Christmas as your sponsor. So the next one was Birds of Christmas Part 1, Best of, and Mrs. Chickens Part 2, Best of. It may seem a little confusing, but I just thought there was a flow to it. You listen to any of these?
Who, me?
455 was Best of September Day and Birds of Christmas Part 2. These are just all local sponsorships. September Day is a holiday we celebrate here in Murfreesboro that's going to go nationwide anytime now. Y'all may have heard about it this year. And number 456 was Best of Rib Rubbers, which also, I believe, had not just rib rubbers, but rum rimmers and several more.
Had a bunch of them in there, yeah.
So if you miss some of them, you may want to go back and listen to some of these sponsor episodes. Just give you a sense of the town we're coming from. You can also watch that clip of everybody yelling at that kid about his grandmother passed away. But doesn't give you a sense of the whole. That's a bad sense. But what we can do is provide a counterweight and a good sense. You go, that town must be full of assholes. No. That room was full of assholes. But the town can be a very welcoming, hospitable place, not just for us, but for our sponsors here on Red State Update, which we do. Local sponsors, every episode you can go back, work your way through, listen to some of the great businesses that make this town run and that do not yell at children.
Try your best not to yell at children. If you're going to yell at a children, make it about something more than their grandma dying. Making too much noise in Walmart, probably shouldn't yell at a child that ain't your own, but you know.
Hush now. Like Biden telling everybody, people were saying, yeah, it's angry. We were just talking about it. Angry dad, angry granddad.
Yeah.
Biden. The thing is, granddad, when your granddaddy gets mad at you, like if you're sitting there as your mom and your dad, maybe something at Thanksgiving goes wrong and your granddad, everybody just needs to shut up. But nobody really listens to him. You know, his voice is kind of weak and you can't really make it out over everybody else yelling. So he thinks, well, I'm the patriarch of this family, so I'm going to stand up and I'm really going to set everybody straight. Like, it's Thanksgiving, God damn it. Like, what? Sit down. That's what I hope doesn't happen with Biden here.
Well,
everybody needs to quiet and get a vaccine. What did he say? You're upsetting your grandfather. That's what I hope doesn't happen. God, lie down. Joe, just lie down, okay? We support President Biden here on this podcast. We didn't talk about Afghanistan either.
That's terrible. I don't know if I support anything about that. I support getting out. Seemed like it'd be a better way to do it than what we saw. We did talk about it
before.
It ain't like we ain't talked about it all, but
things. It was a rough couple of weeks. It
wasn't like things got better or anything. It got worse. Yeah,
I didn't like. Oh no, that's good. I fixed it.
Well,
I don't know what that would have been. I don't know exactly. I guess if there was a plan for that.
If you were going to fix Afghanistan, you think you would have done it?
I mean, maybe he's sitting down there going, oh, you know what we should have done?
Well,
I might have been. They are people who come up with good ideas. It's just late. I'm one of them people. It may take me a year or two. I'll fix your problem. But it'll be like, oh, you know what? Here's what you should have told that judge. That was 3 years ago. I just got out. I know. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it then. I mean, a perfectly acceptable excuse. I didn't think about it then. Sometimes you're groggy, you're hungover. You need some time.
Well, hopefully if they get enough time, they say about 100 Americans left over there now. They just got some more out yesterday. So the Taliban's still letting them go. Let's hope we get them all home. You talk about Biden being grandpa, he extra grandpa the day after, because, they say, everybody quiet. I had enough of it. Sit your butt down, grandpa. I'm going to knock the hell out of you. And, all Republicans, we're going to sue you all this time. Bring it on. Tell them to bring it on.
Yeah, that's a bad family saying where somebody... We've all been there, too.
Yeah.
When I'll knock the hell out of you, I don't care how old you are. Like, that's not where we want to wind up.
Well, that's
we don't even want to get to the point where they're ignoring him. And his face is all red. Like, what's he saying? Make him calm down.
Give him a pill.
Where's his pill? Like, that's good. Like, it's like, you can't... I told you not to, you can't see my granddaughter anymore. I told you I will. I guess that is where we're at.
Yeah.
I told you ain't welcome here. I said I am.
Grandpa says he ain't going to take his pill unless you get vaccinated.
Folks, thanks for coming back to us here on the second half of the Red State Update podcast. We got
we also want to thank all our Patrons people.
Patreon. Yes, thank you, Jesse.
Thank you. We put up some special stuff just for y'all. Hopefully, while we was absent, hope you enjoyed some of that. Whatever it was.
Secret. I don't even know. We didn't tell them. We recorded all that. Not this last one, but the two before it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't even know.
Well, but did either way, and I hope you get your $5 worth anyhow. That's all we really hope.
Got some new sponsors over there. We had a few in the last couple of weeks. We really appreciate everybody. I guess they're sponsors, Patreon or patron.
Yeah, some more pay. Thank you, kind of appreciate you listening. Appreciate each and every one of you. I can't thank you enough. Hope you enjoy it over there. We enjoy talking to our favorite listeners, so thank you kindly. And that helps us keep the computers going. Costs a little money to put a wire here, do that, make it go up. I don't understand how computers work. I don't know how the wires. I don't know what satellites. I don't know any of it. All I know is it costs damn money. So we thank you kindly for helping us out with that. But we also still need to have local sponsors, and we enjoy having local sponsors. And I tell you what, I have a good local sponsor. I had this. How long have we been gone? 2 weeks, right? It's been 2 weeks, right?
2 3 weeks.
2 3 weeks, something like that. All right.
2 3 weeks.
Well, last time I was on here, I'm sure all y'all know this, especially if you're from Murfreesboro. And if you win, I hope you wore a mask at least. Wouldn't recommend. Just because it's sponsored, usually I recommend, yes, it's a delicious restaurant. Yes, the fine food, fine dining. Yeah, nowadays I'm going to say all that, but maybe wait till, everybody gets vaccinated before you go. So it'll probably be out of business by then. But either way, I just want people to be safe. I want restaurants to be okay. Want the economy to be good. Want people to quit dying. Want people to work in the hospital not have to go home miserable every night. Just don't know how to make it all come together. Guess nobody does, really.
Joe Biden.
Well,
maybe in a couple weeks.
We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
I told him how to do it. It was me, I told you.
I've been patient.
We know, everybody knows how patient a 78-year-old white man could be.
Listen, you get on up there. I mean, just to narrow down one part of what you just said, you get up there. I mean, patience does run thin, just like your skin. But you can't just stand around and be like, well, they said they're going to do it. Like, hey, I ain't got no time. I got one foot in the grave and one foot on a train going back to Delaware. I mean, he ain't gonna like when he says we tried to be patient. It's like, they ain't gonna be. He should use that as a line. That'd be a good line. It's like a Reagan line. I tried to be patient, but I'm old as hell. Fuck you. Put on a mask.
Don't with the language, but yeah, that might,
Listen, I may not live to see the end of my term, but I'd like to live long enough to see all you dumb motherfuckers stop getting COVID.
Hey. Language, but yeah, give me that at least.
I mean, we were making fun of him. Jimmy Carter's still alive.
That's true, yeah.
He's so old he can't even go to the 9/11 stuff. He has to do it in his living room. All the other ones are up in New York. He can't. He's sitting at home in a chair. Oh, Biden could be that old. Hell.
Is that what we want for president?
I ain't saying run again, Joe. I'm just saying he could live out a long life.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, we have no idea. Yeah.
Again, we are pro Joe Biden on this podcast. We support him. We're
pro Joe Biden just being alive. We like having him around. President or not. Good
I'm pro
Joe.
Everybody being alive. I don't want nobody to die.
No, hell no.
I want the hospitals to be able to treat your dumb vaccine hating ass. I want you to be able to walk into a hospital and say, I didn't get the vaccine. I know. Go ahead and tell me. And all the doctors, there are plenty of rooms in there. And the doctors say, come on in here. We'll get you set up. We got all night. There's no rush. Come on in here. Lay on down. What happened? I just didn't think I needed it. Or maybe you still don't. There are people. They always put these stories of people dying in the newspapers, and then they, on their deathbed, they told everybody to get it. There's many people who still don't want it when they die. They're like, no, don't.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the stories that make the newspaper. The other people are just like, no, you think it'd do me any good? Well, not now.
I want it on my tombstone. Biden couldn't get me.
So I want all y'all. I want to have tombstones.
I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of tombstones with never got vaccinated on it. Proud of it. They need to come up with a logo because it's going to be, you ain't just have it on your truck. It goes on your gravestone.
When I die, I want you to take my ashes, rent a helicopter, and fly over Bill Gates' estate and dump it all out on the lawn and go, fuck you. Try to magnetize these ashes, you dumb son of a bitch.
It's hard to have sympathy at this point.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody. Listen, I do not want you to get cremated and sprinkled on Bill Gates. I want you to live. I want you to live a long and happy life, making the rest of us miserable. Please do that. I want that. I don't want nobody else to die. I don't want. Who are we talking to? What are we doing?
Ain't nobody listening to him. Well, let me get to my sponsor. I got a good sponsor. And like if you remember 2-3 weeks ago, like I barely do, if you can, you do it better than me, but still. You remember we was on the verge of a big confrontation, so to speak, a musical confrontation.
Oh, yeah.
That was the Battle of the Bone Drips.
The Battle of the Bone Drips, of course. Right,
that was the band Bone Drip, and then the original lead singer, some say Mastermind, about behind the hits or whatever you want to call them, songs of Bone Drip. He played, I guess I flipped the coin. I can't remember who opened up for who, but Dennis Drip's Bone Drip Experience was battling Bone Drip, which it's not Bone Drip 2. It's still the same people in Bone Drip, just -1.
Yeah, let me just, again, it's been a long time. A lot of stuff has happened. Terrible, terrible things. We all have PTSD now, and some are just slow to admit it. So I just want to take us back, because some people may not remember. And I'm, to be honest, one of the people who run this podcast, I don't know that I do either. But I think that what happened was Dennis Drip, is that his name?
Formerly Dennis Bone Drip. That's where that was his real last name. That's where he come up with the name of the band.
He was in a car accident, his fault, DUI. Yep. And why did he lose the rights to his own name as the name of a band? Why did Bone Drip, the band, kick him out and get to keep the name of the band, even though it's his given name?
I ain't the lawyer. I wasn't there for all that.
I can't remember, but there was some reason. And if you listen to this podcast long enough, I know there's a podcast that covers the Supreme Court legal issues. We're almost like that at this point, because there's so many court cases that come in and out of Murfreesboro.
Oh, yeah.
Involving our sponsors, it seems like. And you half the time.
It's something about it has to do with music or something like it. I can't remember.
It's like you'd have to talk to a music.
And he was allowed to keep Bone or Drip. He couldn't have both.
Right.
But he had, so he picked Drip.
That was a mistake.
Dennis Bone, Dennis Drip. I don't know, except, but then it's Dennis Drip's Bone Drip Experience. That all works out. He's allowed to use Bone Drip in the name of another band. Again, music thing.
So he couldn't keep his own last name. He got kicked out of his band, and the band took the name of the band, which was his last name. And then he was stripped of his own last name and had to choose only half of it. But he can call a new band the Bone Drip Experience.
Because he adds that word to it, see?
So it's just that one word.
It's that you can't, it's either Bone Drip or Bone Drip something. Bone by itself, Drip by itself, Bone Drip, something else or something. Maybe even something Bone Drip. I don't know. That's
pretty good. You're actually pretty good at explaining these legal issues.
Well, I don't. I'm just telling you what I hear. So I ain't a professional or anything. I ain't got no.
Well, I just wanted to compliment you on it.
Well, I ain't got no kind of diploma or nothing. I ain't no legal. No, I didn't pass no test nowhere. No bar, nothing. But all this we're talking about here, it kind of hit Murfreesboro by storm. Bone Drip, if you're from Murfreesboro, it's already been around, been playing for years and years.
Years and years. Everybody
bars
knows.
Everywhere. I don't know if there's a bar. I know there's plenty that closed down, but the ones that left open still, I don't know if there's any of them that Bone Drip ain't played the song in other than the ones that just don't let bands play. You know what I mean?
And they probably played in some of them.
Some of them, they've gone in some places and they've been asked to leave.
Rock and roll, man.
Yeah. Well, that's what you got to do. Get a name for yourself, They've been kicked out.
They rebels.
Those little flyers all over the place. They've been, when they did that sort of thing, been kicked out of every bar in Murfreesboro. Come say them at this, They're like, got people's attention, I want to see what it was. It was just that they got kicked out because they was making too much noise and they didn't have band. It ain't like they broke bottles. They didn't do that. They just, we're trying to eat here, Had somebody escort them outside. And they usually left. It's not like they threw. All right. But they were able to do that, use that, slogan or whatever you want to call it.
This Bone Drip, you can tell that they are true Murfreesboro local legends. You probably got bands like this in your own hometown. They've been around forever. All the musicians in town have probably played for it. Like, that's got to be Dennis Drip's band is made up out of other people he had fired in the past.
Bone Drip Experience,
together. Yeah. Bone Drip Experience, yeah. That's how he got them together so fast.
Yeah, he was able to. Yeah, he got out of a coma and they would put a band together pretty quick. Didn't take it too long, but they had that thing. And I don't know if they decided who won the whole thing. I can't remember if they figured out who gets the name of what. But that, basically, what happened, it was a draw, I guess, because they've all come together. because everybody, I guess, has such a good time there. Hopefully they will mask. I don't know. It is outdoors by the stump. But it went so well, and everybody had such a good time. They did play the same songs. They played it in different order, but it still sounded like Bone Drip either way. But people, if you like Bone Drip, that's just extra Bone Drip you get. So they figured that,
2 for 1.
Huh?
2 for 1.
2 for 1, but now it's all one. Since the other people already play, they just added more people. So now they got a bunch of people. Dennis Drip is back in Bone Drip. His name still is Dennis Drip. I guess he likes it now. I think he's allowed now that there's no conflict. I think he could probably take his name back, but he's keeping it.
They didn't choose a champion of the Battle of the Bone Drips, but Bone Drip just got back together as one giant band,
one big band, and it was going to be. And they had this whole big thing. It was coming up next week. Bring back, it was going to be not the battle. He would bring back the Bone Drips. Everybody wants the Bone Drips back. It was this whole thing. It wasn't battle band, bring back the Bone Drips. But it turns out, this kind of involves politics a little bit. If you're from Murfreesboro, you know this, and if you're not, you heard us talk about, our mayor is Jesus' skeleton. If you're familiar with Jesus' skeleton, which is not actual, it's not Jesus' real. It's not Jesus' skeleton because his skeleton went up to heaven with the rest of him.
Right.
It's from a story for for you little songs, little stories help children learn the Bible. It's not always, they're not always true, but it gets you to the true thing. And it was something I did. Jesus. That
sounds like Fox News.
What do you mean? Sound like Fox News?
That should be their slogan. It ain't always true, but it gets you to the true thing.
Well, that's what these little things do. Yeah, that as far as Fox News are concerned, I don't know about that. But it's a little story. They weren't Jesus' skeleton in his bones. They were just bones that he happened to be walking by, or he saw them or something. Did magic to them. They come to life and go with him, follow him around, dance, whatever like that, and the children watch it and all that stuff. Now, let me and I know you're sitting there thinking, Decky, you crazy as hell. He's got the, Alzheimer's plus. What the hell are you talking about? Jesus' skeleton and all that. It's the man dressed up like the story. He's not the actual magic bones either. But used to play the part. And you know how we get, entertainers get elected to be in the politics every day now.
Yeah, you remember when Donald Trump was president?
Who?
So, yeah, folks, this is all, like, if longtime listeners remember Jesus' skeleton, but if you're new to the podcast, Jesus' skeleton is the mayor of Murfreesboro.
Well, bring back the Bone Drips. Sounds too much like a local campaign happening here in Murfreesboro now, started by Jesus' skeleton, called Bring Back the Bone Drop. Sounds too similar. So guess what? Bone Drip, bless the hearts of nothing. They can't stay out of a courtroom. So
wait, the mayor is suing?
Well, I don't know if it's just the mayor. It could be the whole, city of Murfreesboro, he got behind it or something. I don't know. But they're back because it sounds, Bring Back the Bone Drip sounds too much like Bring Back the Bone Drop, which if you remember, you're from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, you remember this from a few years back, hadn't had it in a while. Every Halloween, had a big thing where they'd take all the bones and all the kids come out, adults, teenagers too. It had a big old crane come up off by the square. It let out all these bones. These bones will fall down and all children run out there. If you get enough of the right ones, you put the whole skeleton together. And every year, every Halloween, you had a bone drop mega champion, the person that put it together. Now, it was real popular back in the day. Hadn't done it in a while. For whatever reason, Jesus skeleton wants to bring it back.
Somebody got hurt by a bone.
Was that what stopped it?
Yeah.
Well, somebody, I don't know, they ran out too quick. They should. You don't run out. You don't blow the whistle till all the bones have already hit the ground. Now, if one of them got hung up in that crane or whatever, maybe
I think that's what it was.
What it was
really the crane, the Halloween crane's fault.
Well, they don't need to. Yeah, they need to take it out on the manufacturer of the crane, not the children having fun.
What do you do if you first want to? What do you get if you first want to put the skeleton together? I can't remember.
Oh, well, first off, a skeleton.
Is that? Do you get anything after that, or is that?
Well, I mean, you get the title. It's a Halloween thing, so you get.
It's good. I mean,
skeleton's good. You know,
it's great.
Cost you how much? $30-$40 go down to Halloween store and get one of them, something like that, maybe more, depending on quality. I don't know.
They ain't cheap.
I mean, sure, you go get a little paper one that
Yeah, but come on.
At Walmart, when it's time for Halloween, but if you get, you have a good time and you may walk home with a full skeleton. And,
I remember that was fun. I do remember when that kid got hurt by the bone, but other than that, I just have great memories of just running around picking up bones. I think Randy Travis may have got the idea for that song, picking up bones. He said, well, maybe if I change it.
Yeah.
But
it was a tradition for years, and now.
Now
that I remember, that makes sense. It was a crane because that's how he's trying to sell this whole thing. Jesus skeleton, brand new crane, blah blah blah. That's
brand new crane. Well, that makes.
That's one of the sayings. Bring back the bone drop, brand new crane. That's what I forgot. You right.
Right, that's true. And
so it's a new crane. Not going to be any conflict as far as we know.
That makes sense because he's a skeleton.
Well, he's not really a skeleton. He's a man dressed like a skeleton and tells stories to children about Jesus.
Yep.
Jesus skeleton, not Jesus, actual skeleton. Jesus magic. Anyhow.
Yeah.
He's decent mayor. I don't have a problem with him or anything. I mean,
you just don't hear a lot about. It's not like not in the news all the time. Like, the mayor did this. The mayor did that.
Well, there's so much going on with COVID and everything else. He kind of laying low. So,
Yeah, it's kind of nice just to not have to think about Mayor Jesus skeleton all the time.
Well, if that's what it takes to be a good politician, is just to disappear. He knows what he's doing. So yeah.
Although this seems to be like a turn for him to be, getting in the news like this. So, and beloved, long time local garage hard rock band Bone Drip just got back together, generated a lot of goodwill, double Bone Drip almost.
Yeah,
and then for him to sue them.
I don't know. This seems to me like a perfect opportunity to come together and make a bigger event. I'd do it both. Bring back the bone drop featuring the bone. Hear the sounds of bone drips at the. They could all come. I guess it's who gets your money. I guess is what it is. Is it state funded? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Again, I don't know how politics work. I don't know how.
I don't know. Here on Twitter, it looks like because you'd think that, but here at Daily News Journal just tweeted like Mayor hates the idea of Bone Drip or something.
What?
Yeah, it's like, but Mayor Jesus Skeleton against Bone Drip participating in Bone Drop, Ukraine.
I can't see why he would. Maybe there's a history there. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe more is to be revealed, so to speak, right?
Maybe there's bad blood between Jesus' skeleton and Bone Drip.
I never knew any of them running the same circle, but who knows? I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
Anyhow, we don't know.
I don't know what to tell you.
We don't know if the show's going to happen or not at the stump. We're waiting to find out legalese up there. Everybody was excited about it. They're saying there's going to be something there, and they ain't changed the sign yet or something. But I don't know what it is. So we don't know if the Bone Drips is going to be, playing or not. But I guess if I have to always bet on the man. You know what I mean? May not bet on the government. They know how to get. It's going to wind up in their favor. So that may not be a show next weekend, but this Halloween, I guarantee you, they'll be chilling, picking up some bones. And I ain't saying that's good and bad. I'm just saying that's just the way of the world.
So that is Bone Drip?
Well, it was, but I don't know if they're going to play or not. So I don't know. I feel strange. Jesus Skeleton didn't give me $25, but it seemed like I just said Halloween the bone drop would be taking place in Ukraine. Bone drop would be taking place on Halloween. But I guess that could be my sponsor, just support local community thing.
Did anybody give you any money?
I said no.
Nobody give you any. Shit.
Well, they were going to give it, which I believed them because the last show was so big. Everybody was talking about how many people come out. They said, well, we'll give you the money out of,
right.
after the show was what they said.
Uh-huh. I'll pay you after the show. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Well, I had no reason if it was from just one of the Bone Drip, sure, I would have been questioned. But I figure both of them can't be that way altogether.
Welcome to rock and roll, man.
Right.
I feel like we talk about this every September, October, but it feels like Halloween's just around the corner, but it's like a month and a half off.
Yeah.
People done got haints and spooks tacked up on their window sills. It's like, hold your horses. What are we talking about? Oh, Jackie, I got a sponsor this week that I think you're really going to like.
All right.
I've been down here underneath Clop Shushers, waiting for you to come get me. And it's been 3 weeks now. How long have we been gone? A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? And you ain't showed up yet.
I'm not going to go nowhere. I told you, the damn Delta variant, everything else, nobody wearing a mask or nothing in Tennessee. I ain't going to go get sick. I'm old as hell. Old age sick. I got double whammy on me.
I'm beginning to think you ain't going to show up over here.
I'm not. You're thinking right for a change.
So, Jackie, let me lay it out for you here, folks. This is a reminder in case you hadn't listened to the last, it's been, we don't know how, 7 weeks since we did a new one of these, and we just want to let you know a couple of reminders. My last sponsor was Clop Shushers, which everyone remembers, especially old people like Jackie. It was people who come outside and told you were riding your horse too loud. And this is back in the day, a while ago. It was a job. People needed jobs. And then Clop Shushers, of course, gave way to Clop Stoppers, which was something you put on a horse's shoe. I hope you heard me clap my hands because what I was doing was showing here's the horseshoe, it's one hand, and here's the Clop Stopper, and you put it on there. Did you hear that?
Huh?
Did you hear that?
Did I hear it?
That's the sound it would make. And it would stop that loud clopping. And then, of course, there was clop toppers, because as soon as you tell people, hey, why don't you not do that for the sake of the community, people are like, fuck you. So they got things to put on their horseshoes that made them louder. So then, of course, there was clop top stoppers. And then after that, of course, there was manure lure. I think we talked on the last one, we talked plenty about horses going to the bathroom. So we don't need to relitigate that.
Well, that's one of those things that's always going to be, always will be.
It is, ain't it?
Nothing you can do to change it. You can clean it up a little bit, but it's always going to be there. Yeah. Try
to do that. Try to stop a horse from going to the bathroom. Go ahead, try it. Go ahead, try to stop a horse. There's a horse right there, just raring to go to the bathroom, just getting all ready. You can see him tensing up, ready to go. Try to stop that horse.
Nothing you can do without making a mess of yourself and everything. No, it's happening.
I'd love to see you try. Be my guest. Help yourself. Idiots. So, manure lure, these were all Clop Shushers products from the Clop Shusher Corporation. It was during the time when Big Horse was losing traction. Of course, the automobile history podcast. So I went to Clop Shushers. They wanted to be a sponsor. I talked to Benjamin Cott. Old man talks like this creepy old man. We covered all this. He gave me $25 and then showed me down to the basement. This cavernous, mini-roomed, dark basement. It's kept me in here, But to be honest, there's a room. It's better than the room I had staying with my grannies. Bathroom's nice, clean. Benjamin Cott comes down. I got used to how creepy he is and how he talks. And we talked to the other folks, the sponsors down here. And so Benjamin Cott, it's the last sponsor. I'm like, what do you mean the last sponsor? Like, I've been here for many years in Murfreesboro and the town and the sponsors. I don't know what he means. Is he the last sponsor? Am I supposed to be looking for the last sponsor down here? Because I think we talked about this, Jackie. Do you remember last time? Did we talk about meatball cereal?
Right.
I don't know if that's a keto thing, lots of protein. I'm like, what does that even mean? I'm like, that's a terrible sponsor. Nobody wants, that's not even funny. Nobody wants to hear that. Like, put the meatball in the milk. Like, it's a thin. Then there's Silly's new sticks for old hoes and shovels.
Yeah.
Handles. And there's like, that's not enough. He said, what if about the color? A bright red or somber brick?
Are you sure this old man, is this a leprechaun?
Huh. I would have said he's an old man.
When the way you talk and the way he talks, it makes a hair stand on the back of my neck. He says, you sound a little like old leprechaun. That's what scared me.
We talked about him sounding like a leprechaun. He looked like a ghost. He looked like if you walk into a room and somebody in a corner and then you look again and it ain't there, that's what he looks like.
Well, look, let me tell you. Now, I ain't saying it's true, but if you believe in legends, and if all the legends, you look at them side by side, if the one that had to be true, I ain't saying it is true, I'm just saying if it had to be, or could be, possible, whatever, there's a leprechaun, and a leprechaun got magic. It can turn into a ghost and the whole thing. You don't know what it's going to be.
I'll ask him.
Well, don't mean he's going to tell you. If he don't want you to know, you ain't going to find out.
I ask him questions. I feel like if he was a leprechaun, he'd have to trick me.
Oh, no.
I was like, is there a bathroom with a shower in it? He said, oh, yes, down in the hall. I feel like a leprechaun would be like, you tell me if a shower you seek. Down the hall, give a peek. He'd at least dress it up a little bit. But he's like, oh, yeah, just, the next one.
That's the reason you don't need to ask him. Because if he is, next thing you know, it's going to be, I mean, they kill people all sorts of different ways. Don't chance it. Don't ask him about it.
I don't think he's a leprechaun. All that spooky stuff. I mean,
I'm just going by the way you was talking. I ain't accusing anybody of being a leprechaun, and I ain't saying leprechauns are true. Let me make that clear. If Bigfoot, Loch Ness Bigfoot, that's stupid. Ain't Loch Ness Monster. That's a dinosaur that died a long time ago. Ain't no truth. Leprechaun, that's Ireland out in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
It makes sense. It does make sense. Listen, I don't think, at first I thought he was like a specter that, from a frightening painting that stepped out of a mirror when you said his name 3 times. I don't think, I talked to him about his prostate surgery.
Wow.
I think he's just an old man now.
All right. Point.
I mean, I don't know why he's locked me. There's something going.
I'm just going by the way you making him talk. I don't know.
That's how he talks. I can't help it. He talks like a leprechaun.
All right. I know you do good imitation. That's right. I was checking.
I think there's still something weird happening down here. But I'm just saying, the more you get to know somebody, it humanizes them, and then you can't, like, before I think I was kind of othering him because now it's just like, I mean, he still might be some sort of mystical force keeping me down here to cause, huge changes in my life and maybe the podcast, and maybe there's something in Murfreesboro, some sort of cosmic shift. Maybe if I continue down this hall, he said, if you keep going, you're going to hit the network of sinkholes, and then that you might run into sponsors that seem familiar to you at first, but are very different upon further inspection, whatever that means. Like I just think, but also like he goes to the bathroom all the time, not like horse bathroom, but just like regular bathroom. And so it's like he's just got old people problems,
Oh, yeah. I'm far too familiar with them, yeah.
Anyway, and I've been hanging at Silly's. I talked to Silly. He's kind of creepy too, but when it comes down to it, we're all just people, right? Wrestling snack sacks. We talked about that. It's mustard on biscuit plus meat and some loose scoobers and milk duds. It's like if your granddad was taking you to see wrestling and your meemaw made you a snack. And that sounds pretty good, right? We talked about.
Yeah, I don't have, but yeah.
The barrels full of soot water.
No.
I don't know what that is. Like these aren't good sponsors. I don't know if he's saying we've run out of sponsors. I don't know if he's saying I have to pick one to keep looking for sponsors down in this mystical dark cavern. He did give me a sponsor this week. I heard there was a woman who smelled like mold. She came in. She was obviously pregnant. She was cloaked in these rags spattered with what I assume was blood, but it could have been paint.
Why?
And they took her into a room, and I heard screams. I never saw her again, but there's a baby in that room. And there's a nursemaid for the baby, who I think may just be silly dressed up. Like a nursemaid.
I thought you meant silly dressed up like a baby.
No, the baby, it's a real baby. And the baby's a sponsor this week. But when Benjamin Cott told me, Benjamin Cott, did I tell you that's the name of the guy that's cough shushers? Benjamin Cott. He, I don't know if he said baby bone drip or baby bone drop.
What?
But there's a bunch. So here's the thing. Maybe the baby has to choose. Because in the baby's room with Silly or the nursemaid, there's a bunch of musical instruments on one side of the room. And on the other side of the room, there's a bunch of bones. So maybe they're waiting to see if it's baby bone drip or baby bone drop. I imagine if it's baby bone drip, that baby can play all the instruments for all of. I did hear somebody was playing Love Letters Calamity, Bone Drip's biggest hit, on a zither, which I just assumed was some creepy old person, but it could have been Baby Bone Drip for all I know. So maybe it's a musical prodigy.
Baby Bone Drip.
Or maybe I heard the clattering of bones, which I assumed was just skeletons walking by my room. But you know what? Maybe it was Baby Bone Drop.
But bones don't sound like zithers.
No, it was different sounds at different. You know what'd be great is if this baby learned to play. Like, in cartoons when they get a xylophone in a graveyard for a spooky concert and the cartoon plays, like a skeleton plays the xylophone with his own bones. So maybe this baby. Listen, anyway, I got to go check on the baby because that's part of my duties now.
What?
They did the baby gave me $25. So the baby's definitely a sponsor, but I don't know if it's Baby Bone Drip or Baby Bone Drop. I guess if it's Baby Bone Drip.
Doing what? Being in a room by itself for somebody that ain't looking after it? I don't understand.
Big things coming. Maybe the baby's the last sponsor. Maybe that's what all this means. Sometimes you got to plan things out a little better before you start talking on your podcast. But I think that this baby, big things are coming. That's what he said. The big things are coming. Baby Bone. And I didn't get the last thing I said.
You setting yourself up for a really hard sponsor segment next week.
No, I think we'll figure it out. I'll start working on it right now. I promise.